Evening, everybody. How are you doing this fine evening? Welcome to the stream. My name is Mike. You can call me Ocho. And tonight, I'm actually all excited for this. Tonight, I'm starting something new, and that is I am going to play all the Ultimas. I love them all. I think they're all great games. I think they're all amazing games, and really part of a collective gaming history. And so, I decided that, well, the only way that I'm going to play them all is if I actually just do it. And now that I've started streaming, that I kind of feel like there's this thing when you start streaming, and it's basically you're like, oh, I want to play this game. It's like, oh, I want to play this game, but I don't want to do it and not stream it. And all of a sudden, there's this extra layer on top of gaming itself. That is basically like, I want to share this experience. I want to give of myself. You will definitely have to forgive me though tonight. I am getting over a really bad cold. I haven't had a cold this bad in probably the past 3 years. I'm currently on antibiotics. Trying to kick this thing. I've had it for the past 3 days. And you can probably hear it in my voice. It's a little scratchier than normal. The doc decided to put me on some wicked antibiotics. Trying to kick this thing. Hopefully it doesn't turn into like a pneumonia, is what I'm hoping. Because I had pneumonia about 3 years ago, and it was pretty awful. But yeah. So, I'm excited. I'm going to be calling it Friday Night Ultima. I actually haven't decided on that being the actual title or not, but I kind of like it. Kind of harkens back to TGIF in like middle school. When it used to be like, oh my god, you see Family Matters tonight? Oh. It was like Family Matters, Step by Step, I think was on there. Full House, I think was on there. TGIF, man. Come on, everyone watched TGIF. So yeah, Ultima 1. Starting it off nice. Also, I do not have baby Ocho next to me, because, like I said, I've been very sick, and I kind of don't want my 4-month-old son to catch this, so he's been staying away. He's currently upstairs with his mother. So again, sorry for the coughing. It'll happen. 9 out of 10, I'm not quick enough to stop. To reach up here but I'll do what I can. There we go. Okay, so Ultima 1. Ultima 1. Just to give a quick background on. Ultima 1 came out in June of 1981. 1 month before I was born. So, this game is, I am 36 years old. So this game is 36. Not only can this game drink, this game can have kids and have a mortgage. Probably well into a mortgage, really. Alright, I'm getting myself, I'm doing this right. I'm getting myself graph paper. I tried playing a Calibeth the other week, but a Calibeth was a little too random for my taste. Every single time I went up or down in a dungeon, the entire map changed. And, I can see why it's considered so difficult. So that's why I'm not starting with a Calibeth. That's why I'm starting with Ultima 1. Anyway. Alright, so, Ultima 1. First thing I do when I start up a new game like this, especially one of the old DOS games, is go back and look at the manual, because these games had manuals. I love the music in the background. Boom, okay. Ultima 1, the first age of darkness. I'm getting myself into here. Now I'm playing this through DOSBox. I'm playing it through DOSBox that I downloaded off of GOG. And, of course, I tweaked the GOG settings, the DOSBox settings, to my liking. I now have enough experience with it where I have it down to a science as to what I like. And how to play it on my, my 1080 monitor here. The adventure, hail noble one. Our land is in need of a stalwart hero, one who will brave perils too horrific to consider. A plague has befallen the realm, a scourge is upon the land. Our villages lie sacked, ruinous mounds of ashes, where once trod peasants stout of heart and sound of mind. Where once lay fields of grain and fruit, where kine and fowl grew fat upon the bounties of our fair Caesarea. All manner of wicked and vile creatures prey upon our people and ravage the land. 'Tis the doing of one so evil that the very earth trembles at the mention of his name. Some fantastic art by Dennis Laubette here. Mundane the wizard hath wrought his malice well. Our nobles bicker amongst themselves, and each hath retired to the confines of his keep in hopes of watching the downfall of his rivals. Verily, the evil one hath heaped indignity upon curse by releasing upon the realm a host of creatures and beasts so bloodthirsty and wicked that our defenseless people fall as grain before the reaper's scythe. These denizens of the underworld hold sway over all that can be surveyed, save for the strongholds of the nobles, besotted with their own ambition. Nowhere in our once peaceful country may a traveler find safe passage or lodging, save in the keeps of the self-proclaimed kings, and they demand hard labors for their indulgences. This is written well. I like it. There's one spelling mistake, but whatever. Only the young Lord British remains steadfast in the vision of a peaceful land and united Caesarea. In his castle and his town, the pure of heart will find an ally and replenishment for the needs of one who hath chosen to fight for the realm. Aid us in ridding our land of the scourge that hath befallen us, O noble one. We beseech thee, for without thine aid we shall surely perish before the onslaught of the maleficent necromancer. Slay the evil mundane. Okay, alright. So yeah, mundane, bad guy. Got it. Fellowship. The lands of Caesarea are populated by a diversity of races, as varied as the elements. From the tiniest bobbit... Bobbit? Tiniest bobbit? To the most towering human. Our folk show a strength of character unknown in other parts of the world. Until the coming of the foul mundane, our folk lived in harmony and worked together in the true spirit of comradeship. The principal inhabitants of Caesarea are human, endowed with a natural intellect higher than any other race. The humans are the backbone of Caesarean society. More reggae. Found in all walks of life, they are strong of body and of unexcelled spirit. Elf. Shorter than their human counterparts by the span of 3 hands. Oh, they're tiny little guys. The elves of Caesarea are slight of build and swift of movement. Their superior natural agility makes them excellent musicians and clever thieves. At home amongst the trees of the deepest forest, or in the alleyways of the capital, the Caesarean elf makes a stalwart companion and a relentless foe. Dwarf. Mountain fold and legendary miners. Fold? Folk, maybe? In legendary miners, the dwarves of Caesarea stand but half a human's height, yet often outweigh slender elves. They are matchless in courage and possess an inordinate endowment of natural strength. Never accept the Caesarean dwarf's challenge to wrestle for drinks in a tavern, unless thy supply of gold be endless and thy generosity ample. Bobbit. A small and gentle race, the Caesarean bobbits are believed to have come to our realm from a distant place. They're said to favor mountainside meadows and the serenity of forest clearings. Their diminutive height being even less than that of a dwarf, they shun any task that involves hard physical labor, preferring instead to pursuits of study and contemplation. Bobbits are naturally weak, yet possess a serenity indicative of profound wisdom. Okay. So, humans, elves, dwarves, and bobbits. Not to be confused with hobbits. Okay, this game came out in 1981, and I guess it was one of the first role-playing games, one of the first more popular role-playing games, and so. Okay, so they took liberally from Tolkien. Let's get that out of the way. The first couple Ultimas took liberally from Tolkien. Or Tolkien, however you pronounce that. Excuse me. So yeah, so instead of hobbits, we have bobbits. And dwarves, which are pretty much mountain folk. Elves, this is where it's different. I think the elves in Tolkien are very tall. Whereas the elves here are shorter. By like 3 handspans. That's almost 2 feet. Or 1.5 feet, 2 feet. Professions. Whilst the professions practiced by our folk are numerous, there are but 4 courses of action that may be followed by the novice adventurer. These are fighter. The rigorous training involved in learning to become a fighter results in a stronger, more agile adventurer. The knowledge acquired during this period permits the fighter to use virtually every kind of weapon that might be found in Caesarea. Okay. Cleric. A profession suited to those who are of introspective nature. The study of the ways of the cleric requires patience and results in a good deal of wisdom. Such is their calm and concentration that at no time will the proper spell cast by a cleric... Excuse me. Cast by a cleric fail to attain its desired result. Wizard. To become a wizard in our realm, one must study long and diligently, poring over ancient writings and dusty tomes. Mastery of the arcane arts comes not easily, yet such training hones the intellect to a superior edge. The fruits of the long years of discipline are deemed to be worth the effort, however, for only the wizard may purchase the necessary supplies for the casting of the more powerful enchantments. Okay. Thief. Whilst not a profession held in the highest esteem amongst those charged with maintaining the public order, thieving is a trade that often serves the adventurer well. Many of the explorer's finds are guarded by clever and devious traps that require nimble fingers and a dexterous hand. Larceny and the opening of locks comes much easier for the thief than for other mortals. They who follow this occupation are endowed with exceptional agility. Okay, so 4 classes. 4 races, 4 classes. Got it. Castles and towns. Caesarea is a land dotted with the castles of the nobility of the realm, and with numerous towns wherein the traveler might purchase supplies and provender. Towns and castles may be entered freely, but woe to the one who foolishly is apprehended in an act of thievery, for the public order is maintained here by burly guards who fear none. Each castle is held by a noble, the king of his particular region. Visit these local rulers. They have much to offer the adventurer. The castles are often built of stone and peopled with merchants, courtiers, guards, and fools. Beware of the jesters, for all they amuse, they may also deceive. Dem jesters. Nice, fantastic art here by Dennis Lovett. Merchant class of Caesarea is the mainstay of the realm's economy. All manner of trade goods, foodstuffs, and the handiwork of local artisans can be found in the town and castle shops. Adequate supply of gold will help the adventurer with everything rations to the most esoteric of weapons. Some of the more common emporiums include armory. Armory. Weapons. 'Tis rumored that some of the arms one may find in the distant reaches of our land surpass belief. Okay. Now keep in mind, I actually have not played Ultima 1. The game I started with was Ultima 6. So I've played 6, I've played 7. I started playing 7 Part 2, I haven't completed it. I played 8, I played 9. I played Underworld 1. And that's actually about it. Oh, no, I played 4. I played 4. So I actually have not touched 1, 2, 3, 5, Underworld 2, and, was it Savage Empire and Martian Dreams. I haven't even touched those, so when I get around to playing them, like this one, it's brand new to me. Transportation. While somebody travel throughout much of the realm afoot, alternating to transport that makes short journeys pass more quickly, and longer journeys feasible, or one such voyages seemed unattainable. Common modes of travel include the use of horses and of seagoing vessels. Uncommon modes of travel are also rumored to exist. Magic, a once forgotten discipline. Study of magic has enjoyed a renaissance since the coming of the evil mundane. Many hold the belief that sorcery is indeed needed to combat sorcery. The practitioner of the arcane arts can purchase the needed tools of the trade in various magic shops scattered throughout the realm. Food. None can live without sustenance. The food shops of Caesarea provide the local populace with fresh produce and meats, while the adventurer can find provisions therein that will last for weeks in the wilderness with no special care. Pubs. The people of our land are not without a certain fondness for strong spirits and lively companionship. Most settlements are graced with public houses, where a tankard of strong ale from the region of Trinsic or a flagon of the best Gelum mead may be had for but a few coins. Many of the people found in these taverns are quite friendly, and the ones serving the drinks are often fountains of wisdom and gossip. Our land is an ancient one, where strange and wondrous beings once walked the earth, and civilizations rose and fell. There are numerous underground labyrinths to be found throughout Caesarea, the handiwork of unspeakable creatures and unknown forces. These mazes have become the dwellings of many of the horrors unleashed by mundane upon the poor land. Oh, you know what? I just realized. I literally just realized I didn't have my my chat going. Anyway. Okay, alright, there we go. So really hooking on fellowship music here. These mazes have become the dwellings of many of the horrors unleashed by mundane upon our poor land. Indeed, the lowest depths of some of these hellholes contain creatures that make even the staunchest warriors blanch and tremble. Yet these subterranean passages also contain caches of the ill-gotten gains of the predations of mundane's minions. An intrepid adventurer can finance many an expedition with the spoils of a careful foray into the dungeons of Caesarea. Hearken to my words. The use of extreme caution is needed when exploring underground. The corridors of the dungeons are lined with the bones of explorers who overestimated their abilities. Okay. Star walking. Before the Archmage Mundane can be defeated, one's mettle will first have to be tested in the farthest reaches of the heavens? Really? It is said that the Evil One has formed alliances with star-walking monsters of unparalleled savagery. These malicious creatures stand poised to swoop down upon our people and devastate them. The need to slay the vile wizard is redoubled in the face of this threat. Should a champion emerge from the mists of legends, the means by which to combat this menace from the skies will appear, so say the prophets. Excuse me again. The legends which foretell of this hero include a number of writings and several ballads sung by the bards of our realm. Among the more recent discoveries pertaining to the coming of the Starwalkers is an ancient manuscript found on the foothills of Mount Drash. I think there's the game Escape from Mount Drash, I think. Since it appears to hold instructions for the use of some form of transport, it has been broadcast throughout the lands in hope that it might prove useful to one engaged in the quest to rid Caesarea of mundane. The substance of the document is as follows. In the heavens, each vehicle has the means to control rotation as well as thrust and reverse thrust. In the front view mode, one can turn left, right, climb, and drive. This is quite the prophecy document. The starways are divided into 49 sectors on a 7x7 grid. In the top view mode, one can see all within the current sector. A long-range scan may be obtained by use of the Inform control. Consult the pilot's reference manual for the symbols needed to interpret a scan. One can jump to the next sector in the direction of current travel by using the hyperjump. Okay, you know what? I'll get this when I get to it. Our most learned scholars have translated the document into the common tongue of the realm, but certain terms and phrases have no meaning, even to the most erudite sage. Nonetheless, such is our desire to be rid of the scourge of mundane, and make this information available to all. I might just peruse through the rest of this. Okay, magical arts. Right. 4 artifacts available to the budding mage, which will enhance the ability to weave enchantments: staff, wand, amulet, and triangle. Triangle? The latter is a magical sword that may also serve as a weapon. Okay. Several powerful spells, which will cost the buyer in both gold and experience, may be purchased in the magic shops of Caesarea. These include Blink, physically transport a short distance, Create a wall of magical force, Destroy, remove the wall of magical force, Kill, Ladder down, ladder up, Magic missile, Open prayer, call upon one's personal deity in hopes of finding a way out of a pressing dilemma. Should be used only when the spellcaster is in serious need of divine aid. Unlock. The spell permits the opening of chests at no risk to the spellcaster by magically disarming any traps. Okay. Bestiary. Balron. Not to be confused with Balrogs, of course. Hidden archers. Man. They're hidden. Giant bats, bears, carrion creepers, cyclops, demon, dark knight, dragon turtle, etin, gelatinous cube. As you do. Gremlins, hood. Dang hoods. Invisible seeker. Invisible seeker. None have ever seen one of these horrific slayers, for they are, as their name implies, unseeable. Their presence is usually first detected when open wounds suddenly begin appearing on the body of a victim. They are, however, susceptible to harm from most weapons. Knight, Lich, Lizardman, Mimic, Mind Whipper. Mind Whipper? Minotaur, Necromancer, Nest Creature, Orc, Pirates, Ranger, Giant Rat, Skeleton, Giant Spider, Giant Squid, Tangler, Thief, Trent. Seems like an ordinary oak tree. Okay. Viper, Wandering Eyes. Many dungeon seeker hath been startled to enter a darkened chamber and be greeted by a number of eyes staring out of the murky blackness. Stare not long, for the wandering eyes weave a hypnotic spell and entrances even the most strong-willed and leaves one helpless before the magical onslaught that inevitably follows mesmerization. Dang wandering eyes. Get you every time. Warlock, Wraith, and Zorn. Okay. I, Lord British, would like to thank the following persons for their efforts in creating this work. Special thank goes out to those who spend many arduous months programming this new version. Dave Hall is lead programmer and team manager, Dr. Cat, Steve Muse, Dallas Snell, John Miles, and Richard Garriott for their brilliant programming efforts. This is Richard Garriott thanking himself. But Dr. Cat, he's also in the Ultima Dragons group, and he posts often. I don't know about the rest of these guys, but also Richard Garriott himself is an Ultima Dragon as well. Dave Albert for the product management and eloquent writings herein. Dennis Laubette for the magnificent illustrations within this book, and to Lori Ogwulu for her outstanding graphics and design work. And to all those persons found within this game, I extend warm greetings. Copyright 1980. Alright. Amazing. Okay. Okay, so this is the entire manual for Ultima 1. I don't know if it came with anything else. I know it came with a map. So I have also... there we go. I have a map. So this is the map of the game. And I'm not quite sure where we're going to start, but it's basically 4 different lands. And I'm not exactly sure what all this translates to off the top of my head. I know it's lands of the dark... I don't know. Lands of Lord British. I know that one. I'm not as keen on my my reading of Ultima script. Hey Brax, how are you? Say lands of... I think this is lands of danger and despair. So, good lands. Good lands there. This is lands of the... I don't know. Anyway, I'll look these up when I get around to them. Okay, so I'm not quite sure where we're gonna start, but it's basically it's split into 4 different lands. I'm not quite sure how they all connect, but we'll find out.